So Marlene and I are going to take a moment to introduce Supervisor Sheila Kuehl. I always stumble and say Senator Sheila Kuehl, but before that I stumbled and said Assemblyperson Sheila Kuehl. I have been, I think, lucky to most of my adult life to be represented somewhere by Sheila Kuehl. And the fact that she has a reputation for and a reality of being one of the most effective and progressive legislators, leaders in the state of California is a really great honor, and I think that it probably explains a lot about what Tom says about LA in our leadership. We have been growing the best indigenous leadership in Los Angeles County, and now, unlike the old days, we have 4 women leading the LA County Board of Supervisors. And so, Sheila, Marlene would like to say something about you as well before you come up.
I want to say that you are an inspiring leader, and you have been always. I don't know how many of you know that our supervisor was a pretty prominent, famous, wonderful actress, starting at the age of 8 years old. And she was in lots of programs. But what is the most inspiring part is that she stayed in school. She never quit. She graduated from UCLA and then went on to Harvard Law School and became a prominent attorney focusing on women's and gender rights. So she always has had this heart for people, and we are so grateful to have you as our leader. And then particularly in this time when we need people with lots of heart, we've got one. So please come up and join us.
Before I was elected, I used to be 5'8", but it was, you know, it's that kind of a job. First of all, good on you for listening to all these speeches today. I think that each of them has been incredibly informative, and the panels, the individual speakers, I will take just a few minutes because I've been asked to kind of bring you up to date on LA County and what we're doing. And though I will not necessarily limit my remarks to transit and clean air, I will talk mostly about our environmental initiatives. But the most exciting part of what I'm going to say will come at the end because we have a surprise. It's a surprise for you, and it's a surprise for people up here, which is always, and then they'll have to worry, what kind of a surprise is that? And I would say a good surprise. So in LA County, I'm very, very proud of us. It isn't because there are 4 women on the board, because when I was serving with Mike and Don, as you know, we also started to get a lot of stuff done. The interesting thing about the Board of Supervisors is that there's only 5 of you running something which, if it were a state, would be the 8th largest state. So it's like 5 people running Ohio with no legislature. Which is a lot of responsibility, but also it only takes 3 votes and you spend $34 billion. So it's actually, you know, you can get money out the door. I'm very proud that the county is putting together and is very near to showing off its first sustainability plan. It is a sort of covers all sustainability plan. We also hired our first ever county sustainability officer. You probably see the relationship there. It was like, let's hire him and ask him to come up with a sustainability plan. So that is what we're doing. But we are participating with Metro, of course, in greening transportation, but we're also participating in changing the way perhaps that you'll be able to buy your electricity. We're also participating in increasing our water resiliency. You know already a lot about what we're doing at Metro, about electrifying transit, about our converted Metro buses, But I also want you to know that we have launched a new electric company. It is focused on purchasing green energy. It is not a distribution company. We're still using Edison in the unincorporated areas and in the cities, most of the cities, for distribution, for maintenance, for billing. But it will give an alternative to all of the residents of unincorporated LA County and all of the residents of the cities that opt into the JPA to sign up to get their energy through a different company, and that is our electric company, the CCA for the county. We are going to concentrate on purchasing far more green energy. I say nothing against Edison. Dave Ford is here. We love Dave Ford, and we love Edison. But, you know, competition, not a bad thing, because we will all be upping our game. And already, in addition to the 1 million people who live in unincorporated LA County who will be enrolled in this program, we've had West Hollywood join us, Rolling Hills Estates, South Pasadena, Calabasas, Alhambra, Agoura Hills, Sierra Madre, and Downey, and there are about 800 other cities that are looking to join us and kind of in the process of doing so. So it is growing like Topsy, as my grandmother used to say, though I really actually didn't know who Topsy was, but it became something that we said about growing. We also heard the other day that Ventura County and Santa Barbara County, which already has a kind of energy consortium, but not this kind, is very interested in joining. So imagine if we had a 3-county electric company. It's very exciting. One of the other areas that we are very, very excited about is the area of water. And I know that is not the ultimate subject of this, but as many of your speakers have said, you can't really separate it out. It's sort of like we talk about systems. I like to talk about the person as the system. I must go somewhere, therefore I need transit. I must work. I must eat. I must drink. I must have clean water. I want to be healthy. I need help in being healthy. I want to breathe clean air or cleaner air. I have a convertible that I bought 53 years ago. It's a 1964 Porsche 356C, and I never put the top up. Okay, so imagine what my lungs look like. I'm just saying. And it's harder for me to drive it now because the air is, you know, still, though it's much cleaner than it was when I was a kid, still a little bit difficult. So we're also devoted to clean air. But where water is concerned, there's really 2 big ways that we're participating and working about water. One, of course, conservation, conservation, conservation. I guess that would be 3, but 3 in 1. The other is to increase the local water supply. Now, don't get me wrong, I've always understood that conservation is the greatest source of new water. That is the way you increase a water supply, because though we sometimes act as though we're part of a godly pantheon, we are not gods and therefore are not making new water. So there's only a few ways to increase a water supply, and I guess you don't have much rain in mind for us, so that's gone. One of them, of course, is to capture, reuse, and recycle stormwater. And the county is taking a regional role in looking at what we not only can do, but really what we must do. I mean, think about it. Last winter, when we actually did have some rain, 100 billion gallons of stormwater rolled into the ocean. That's actually enough to provide water for a whole year for a quarter of all the people who live in LA County. And that's the full population, 10 million people. So 2.5 million people could have had water for a year if we could have recaptured and reused that stormwater that rolled down into the ocean. I should remind you that 1 out of every 35 Americans lives in LA County. So as Tom indicated, we are a big deal in a lot of ways. So all of the counties are under orders to do something about stormwater capture under the Federal Clean Water Act. But there's really no money to pay it. For unincorporated county, we need $90 million just to build the kinds of facilities that we would need to recapture and reuse. So we're looking at a measure for the ballot in November of 2018, a multi-benefit stormwater capture measure, and I hope that we will be able to do it. Let me very quickly tell you other things the county's doing. We're studying a ban on polystyrene products, and I'm certain that we will be able to do it. Mandating cool roofs in construction, a whole list, but you really don't really need a laundry list, because if I were to use a laundry list for all the things the county is doing, I would be rude if I wouldn't use a laundry list for all the things that Move LA has done. And the reason that I talk about all the things Move LA has done is because we have a bit of surprise for Denny Zane. Denny Zane, who has no idea this was coming, though he said that he was looking pretty good for a young guy and that he was too young to have a bucket list. I never called Denny Zane a liar, but I think that he may have had his 70th birthday. Now, I'm older than that, so clearly he's too young to have a bucket list. But I wonder if Congressmember Julia Brownley might come forward here. This is a surprise for Denny because he loves Julia Brownley. Come on down. Okay, we all know Denny is a visionary, the kind of dreamer who makes dreams come true. And so for his 70th birthday, to honor him, Julia has brought a congressional record. I have brought a county commemorative scroll commemorating the remarkable public service of Denny Zane over the years. And before we present these, would you join me in singing Happy Birthday to Denny Zane? And happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Denny. Happy birthday to you. All right. Julia, do you want to say something? Do you want to use my stuff? Yeah, sure. All right, good.
I'm standing on Sheila's box, so I'm very tall.
Hey, it was good enough for Barbara Boxer.
Yeah. Anyway, Denny, I am so happy to be here to celebrate you and your birthday. And I just have to say that, as Sheila said, Denny's leadership, his vision, I've known him for a long time, and his entire adult life, he has just given back to his communities, and he has created, as a city council member and mayor of Santa Monica, he created the 3rd Street Promenade and developed that, which was in its day very progressive and visionary and still is. And now we are connected to the greater Los Angeles area and can be a part of that because of all the work that Denny has done as director of Move LA and what he is doing right here in the Southern California, Los Angeles region. So I think of Denny as a patriarch of Santa Monica and now a patriarch of the greater Los Angeles region. And the third thing I will say about Denny very selfishly is when I first ran for the state legislature, I was a school board member in Santa Monica and ran for the state legislature, and Denny ran my campaign. And I can assure you that I wouldn't be in Congress today and I would not have been in the state legislature if it wasn't for Denny and his leadership and his teaching and his mentorship. And so for many, many, many reasons, I am extraordinarily, extraordinarily grateful. I came back from Washington. Washington's not a happy place to be in these days, and it feels like it's just a fire hose of fake news and lies. But what gives me great faith is the state of California, Los Angeles County, and the leadership of Denny Zane, that we We and all of you continue to lead the way, and I know that we are in good hands and we will get through this rough spot in our country. So happy birthday, Denny. Thank you for all that you have given to your community, to our county, and to our nation. And I have this congressional record, and what this means is that this is all of Denny's accomplishments up to his age of 70. We will have to do a new one from 70 on, but what this means is when Denny brings his grandchildren to Washington, D.C., his accomplishments will be recorded in perpetuity forever as part of the history of our country for all he has given. So thank you very, very much. I love you. Love you. Looks like there are 2 more.
Yes. So this is our county scroll for Denny, which I won't read because it's very long and laudatory, but incredibly well deserved. And may I ask City Council Member Mike Bonin and representatives of every other official who wishes to pile on, as it were, to please come forward. Well, hey, it's worth it.
Oh, I like this. I'm going to bring this with me all the time. Happy birthday to Denny. For your birthday, we are totally blowing your afternoon agenda because we've got like 47 different certificates here for you. On behalf of the entire city of Los Angeles, because this certificate is signed by the mayor and the entire city council, just wanted to say thank you to Denny for his work on Measure M, on Measure R, on so many things over several decades, serving the entire county and serving the West Side that's so near and dear to me. Denny is a dreamer, and he is an agitator, and he is an organizer, and he is a doer. And the thing that's most significant about all of those 4 things is not only does he do all 4 of those things, but he inspires others to do them as well, and he teaches them to do it. So it spreads out throughout the entire county and gives us gifts like Measure M. Denny, happy birthday, and thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lila Kuehl, and I'm here representing Senator Ben Allen, a fellow Santa Monican who's benefited from Denny's hard work over many years, and I'm here to thank him on behalf of Senator Allen and the California State Senate with this resolution. Take a photo. And I'd just like to read just the very end that says, whereas the contributions that Denny Zane has made to the people of California have been invaluable, and he has made a lasting impression on those individuals with whom he has been associated, now therefore be it resolved by Senators Ben Allen, Tony G. Atkins, Robert M. Hertzberg, Henry Stern, and Scott D. Wiener, that Denny Zane be commended for his exemplary record of service to the people of the state of California. Thank you, Denny.
Great. And any other leadership board members from Rio Valle, if you want to join us up here, we're going to take one big picture.
My name's Marissa Garcia, and I'm lucky enough to be the administrative manager and work with this wonderful man beside me, and to present him with this resolution from Assemblymember Chris Holden. All right.
Okay, everybody crowd around. Okay, whoever takes the best picture gets an apple.
Gets 15 certificates next year.
But I mean a real apple. All right. And that is the end of my speech. Thank you so much.